Today on Whiskey Wars, Canadian Clash, eh? So today, we have Costco or Kirkland Canadian whiskey versus 40 Creek Canadian whiskey. Now this is interesting because they're both 40 percenters, and this one costs less as this size bottle than this one costs as that size bottle. So there's a big difference in price. But as always, we are going to try it three ways. We're going to do a blind test, and we're going to give you our scores. And then, if you stay tuned, you just might see some interesting things that we will put in this to find out. Will it whiskey?
So, in preparation, we have put little pieces of tape on the bottom of these glasses. So these are labeled F for 40 Creek, and these are labeled K for the Kirkland Canadian.
Now this is a brand new bottle, unopened. I'll be pouring from this bottle. It just looked a whole lot prettier for the first few seconds when you start looking at the thing. So we'll pour. Small pours. So first, I'm going to leave the room. Derek is going to mix up the sides. Then I'm going to come back. She's going to leave the room, and I'm going to mix them up. And that way it's a blind test. So the way this works is we both drink each stage, and this is round one. And then we decide which one we like better. Really, really simple. Now you guys will know which is which because in the video I've marked them to tell you what's what, but we don't know which one this is. So give it a start. We're going to talk about it as we go.
So this is neat. That means no alteration, straight from the bottle, in the glass, down the hatch.
Smell it first.
Oh, I like the smell.
Color-wise, I mean, this is a nice golden color. It's not too dark. That one's a little darker.
This one's a little darker.
On the smell, definitely get the caramel, getting a little bit of the oaky vanilla.
There's something about Canadian whiskey that's just, it's yummy.
To me, it's similar. People are going to hate me for this, but it's similar to bourbon in a lot of cases. I wish we could get the really good stuff. You know, I was told that 40 Creek was a really good one. I've had it before. I liked it. I haven't had it in quite some time.
But there's lots of candy, the caramel.
Oh, yeah. Very approachable, sweet smelling. It smells great.
Maple syrup. It just smells yummy.
Contrary to popular belief, they don't actually put maple syrup in their whiskey.
No. Just
like it's not an ingredient.
Smells that way. It tastes that way.
You need to take 2 sips.
That was my alcohol sip.
Okay. A little bit of alcohol burn. These are both 40 percenters, so that's a little unusual. Good wood oaky flavors on this one. Not a lot of sweetness and candy on the taste. Definitely get what I call like a bourbon bite at the end. Wonderful. I actually really like that.
Yeah.
It's not as sweet as the smell would say, though.
Same with mine.
All right, so let's swap. Ooh, this one, you know, I see what you mean about the maple syrup. I smell maple syrup.
Yeah, mine smells way better than this one.
Wow. I definitely get a maple syrup smell. That's crazy. Oh, sweeter, less oak, less barrel, which is interesting because it's darker. You would think they might have added caramel coloring to change that.
I don't know what the regulations are for
I don't know either.
Canada.
I get a lot less barrel note, but I'm getting more of the vanilla and sugary notes. It doesn't taste like maple syrup. It smelled like though.
Yeah.
A little bit of phenolic in the smell. So I'm thinking what I'm getting is that caramel with the phenols, making it almost smell like maple syrup. Plus, you know, it's a Canadian thing, so we just have maple syrup on the brain.
So I wore this t-shirt on purpose today because I know we were doing the Canadian thing, and this t-shirt has absolutely nothing to do with Canada. This is a Doctor Who reference.
Yeah, a lot of people don't get that reference.
The maple leaf was the Impossible Girl that it's referencing. It was a symbol of
Clara.
Yes, it was a symbol of her lineage because this random moment of this maple leaf crossing the path of these
Yeah.
two people
I thought that was weird.
was her mom and dad, and
Claire is by far my favorite Doctor Who companion.
she's pretty cool. All right, are we ready?
Water break.
Oh, right, we're
Tasted mildly of whiskey. Yeah. All right, so now we're on to...
No, we're on to voting time, right?
Oh, yeah, we have to vote. Ooh, we have to vote. I'm ready. Do you know?
I know.
1, 2, 3, go. Whichever one that is. You guys will know. We won't.
Winner.
All right, yeah, so there's 1 point for that one.
All right, so now we're moving on to the watered version, and that's what this little glass is for.
I'll pour the water.
Brian's going to pour the water because I am awful at pouring.
Water in it.
Someday we're going to get a little pipette so we can be more precise in our water droplets, but we haven't done that yet.
We put water in it because it activates some of the volatile oils and things like that, brings them to the surface,
Yeah.
and adds an extra aroma and sometimes aggression to whiskey. I get a good smell. I know already which one this is because of the smell. That's not fair.
I'm just getting fingernail polish remover now.
Really?
Yeah.
See, to me, it's a little weaker smell. By the way, these are Norland's glasses. They're made so that you can hold it, like you can hard fist it.
They're double lined, so
Yeah,
the
there's a
heat,
vacuum in the middle.
The heat transfer doesn't go from this part of the glass to the inside part of the glass that holds the liquid.
Because something of note with whiskey, the alcohol actually starts to evaporate, even at room temperatures. So don't think that it has to be boiling for it to evaporate. Remember, a glass of water will eventually go dry. Okay, this is not unpleasant, but it watered it down, and I don't think it did it in a good way. A lot of the time when you're at a 40% already for alcohol...
You got to remember what side.
Yeah,
that's...
this is my side.
Right.
All right. A lot of the time when you're already at 40% for alcohol content, that's the lowest legal limit for it to be whiskey. Below that, I think it's just a liqueur. I don't even know what it would be. But when you go below that, it starts to just taste watery. It doesn't really taste like whiskey so much anymore. I have to say, this one held up better with water. Let me, speaking of water, just to make sure, for science. That's a really difficult decision. They're both very good. I generally don't drink whiskey this way, just so you're aware. I generally don't add water. I'll do ice balls, but I almost never just add water. Neat or ice balls is pretty much how I go. Are you ready to vote?
I am ready.
1, 2, 3, go.
Ha! Now see, that was tricky because Brian initially said that he thought this one held up better. But when he went back and did the taste again, he realized that
one's definitely got more flavor. Definitely holding up. Okay, let me go grab some ice balls.
In our previous videos, we had the ice balls out and we realized they melt.
Yeah.
We're in Florida.
And we also keep meaning to make predictions. So I'm going to make a prediction about this Whiskey Wars. We're going to enjoy whiskey and probably be drunk.
We made a very specific lunch. I guess it was lunch. What time is it? I don't know.
It was lunch.
Before filming this, so that way we'd have a nice carbohydrate and protein layer.
Research
in our
showed that
stomachs.
pasta and eggs. So I made pasta with eggs, which we'll do a video on that because it came out really good.
Really good. It was like cheater carbonara. It was wonderful.
Without the bacon. It kind of isn't carbonara, but...
I said it was like cheater.
It was cheater-like. It was carbonara-like. It was a carbonara-like product.
All right. So now we have added ice. Ice will turn off some of the flavors.
Tone down others.
Yep.
It usually makes a whiskey much more approachable if you're new to drinking whiskey. Also, over time, as it starts to dilute, it changes the whiskey, which is what I like about it. On a hot day,
Yeah.
I'll sit with a glass of whiskey with ice in it, and in the beginning it's very aggressive and very strong, and then by the time you get to the bottom, it's kind of like whiskey flavored water, you know?
He likes to do that with the higher proof whiskey,
Oh yeah,
though.
start with like 130 proof, and then by the time you're done, it's at 80,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, not going to smell this one.
I am. I smell everything.
I don't smell anything. I smell cold. Whatever cold smells like, that's what I smell here. It's very pleasant. It's almost sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of them were really very sweet before. This tastes like an Irish whiskey now. It's got a lot of the buttery, biscuity thing going on.
Have we noticed other ones going sweet? Yeah, we've noticed that before
It
on
happens
ice.
on occasion. Well, because I think a lot of the bitter compounds get toned down by the
Right,
ice,
right.
so the sweet can show up.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I see what Brian said about he smelled cold, because this one, I got a scent off
I
of
get a
that
little
one,
bit.
but I didn't get much of anything off
I
of
get a little bit of nail polish remover, phenolics off of this. Here's the problem. They taste different, but so different that they're not even the same classifications of whiskey to me anymore. That makes this very hard to choose.
I see why you were saying that one reminds you of an Irish,
Totally does.
because this one didn't remind me of an Irish.
not
So
at
when
all.
you made that statement, I was kind of like, but now tasting
And that's what I mean.
yours,
This tastes like an Irish whiskey. That tastes more like a bourbon, but not a bourbon. It's a Canadian whiskey because they have a unique flavor profile that's almost bourbon-like, but has some Irish notes to it. They're sweeter, but they're not quite as sweet as bourbon. They're not usually as aggressive as bourbon either. I like them both. I have to choose one of them.
this has been the most difficult portion.
Yeah, they're both really nice on ice. I will say that. Sometimes whiskeys fall apart on ice, especially 40 percenters. These two are holding up pretty well. Granted, there's not been a lot of dilution yet. And that's why you use an ice ball, because the large surface to mass area means it melts more slowly, so it dilutes it more slowly. I almost want to call this a tie, because they're just so different that it's very hard to classify. I enjoy them both. But based on that last sip, let me take another sip. I was gonna go with one, and I think I might have changed my mind. Oh, let's do this. When it comes to judging on ice, I don't go with which one has the most complex flavors, which has the strongest punch, which has the most bite. I go with which is the most enjoyable to drink. Very, very different experience from drinking neat. And I'm ready. 1, 2, are you ready?
I'm like, I want to do this.
You can't. Choose one. I feel like we're drinking a lot less whiskey this time. Which is good, because I don't feel drunk. Let me know when you're ready. Just remember the camera's still rolling.
All right,
You ready?
I think so.
1, 2, 3.
But honestly, I want to do this, and
Yeah,
this
it's
is like
this close.
This is like shades of what may occur when we do a whiskey war of different categorized whiskeys.
Oh yeah, like when we do an Isla versus a bourbon.
Because
Comes down to what do you prefer?
yeah, and I liked the complexity that this one had. This one was more complex.
Yes, most definitely.
But this one was more
More enjoyable.
friendly.
Yeah. I actually really like Irish whiskey on ice, which is why I chose this one. I go for high proof bourbons on ice as well, but not necessarily like low proof bourbons because I think they fall apart.
All right, so let's see. We have
40 Creek
40 Creek, 40 Creek,
and Kirkland.
and Kirkland.
The winner!
40 Creek!
All right, so now the next step is we pour everything into one glass and give it a taste. See how it is. We call this the bonus round. We did pretty good on the pours this time. That's not a huge amount left. Well, on the smell, it's a combination of the two whiskeys. It really is. It's got a lovely, like, maple syrupy smell, and as you can tell, we've been drinking whiskey, so, you know, we're getting a little bit more silly as we go. That's what makes this show fun. Just go with it, people, please.
But honestly, regardless of how much whiskey
Oh.
is in our system, we are silly people. It's true.
I don't know what she's talking about.
Oh,
I
does
like it.
Smell lovely.
I like it better as a mix of both of them. I really do. Because the Kirkland, I drink this one often, as you can tell. And we have another full one. They ran out. Anyway, I drink this often, and it's very candy. It's very easy to drink. I drink it straight. Easy to do. 40 Creek I've only had a little bit of. Actually, maybe a little bit more than a little. There's less than half a bottle left now. But we've had this for months, okay? I think that's a stronger, more aggressive whiskey than the Costco Canadian. However, based on price, this is really comparable. I mean, all three times, it was not an easy choice. I feel the 40 Creek is definitely more complex, more aggressive, a more matured whiskey. Definitely more going on. However, for an everyday drinker, you can't beat the Kirkland one. It's awesome. I mean, it really is that good. But as a mix, it's a whole other world. But now we have to do something else. It's time for Bullet Whiskey. All right, so based on the fact that this is Canadian and people seem to think they put maple syrup in their whiskey, today's Will It Whiskey will be maple syrup. So what I'm going to do, since Derek asked me, do you want a shot glass or anything to measure it out? No.
He's going to make a cocktail like he cooks. He's going to throw some stuff in there until it's good.
I cook good.
Did I say till it was bad? No, I said till it was good.
I just don't want to make too much because, you know, we've been drinking already. We got other stuff to do. Now, this maple syrup is Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup. We use this in our Asserglin video on the Brews channel. I'm just going to pour a little bit in. I mean, how much measuring do I need to do? This isn't like we're giving a recipe for a cocktail here. About that much.
It actually looks really cool.
It looks dark. It looks like a bochet.
Yeah.
Just going to stir it to mix it up. James Bond would not approve. We made martinis the other day.
We did. I don't think either one of us had ever...
Not really. I mean, I had like the weird frou-frou ones, but I
Yes.
never had a real martini. And the other day I was like, hey, we're placing an order for groceries. I'm going to get some green olives so we can make martinis. I don't know where it came from, but that's what happened. So what did we do the day they came? We made martinis.
Maybe made martinis.
All right, I think I have it well mixed. Yeah. First off, that color is beautiful. This looks like a high proof bourbon to me. Shockingly enough, a little bit of maple flavor, like syrup. I not a lot, not as much as you'd think. I think it enhanced the oakiness. Really, it smells like our bourbon bochet. Smell that. That smells like our bourbon bochet. There's no maple syrup in our bourbon bochet. That's on the other channel, by the way. If you haven't seen our Brews channel, you should go watch.
Yes. It's pretty much caramelized honey that's been fermented.
Oh, you don't want any of this.
Gimme. I think we know what the answer is going to be already.
Maple syrup and Canadian whiskey. Will it whiskey? Yes! This is like the perfect meld of sweet and whiskey. Oh my God, this is awesome. This is the perfect whiskey cocktail. I'm going to drink this all the time. No, I'm kidding. I probably won't.
I want to put that on pancakes.
Yeah, this is pancake syrup whiskey. I mean, seriously, we could.
Whiskey pancakes.
That's a Cook's Channel video. We might do that. We've done pancakes.
That would be fantastic.
This is so good. It really is. This is amazing.
With whiskey bacon.
If anybody was curious, I probably did like a 1-to-5 ratio. I would say there's probably 20% maple syrup to the whiskey.
If you don't like sweet stuff, then you might want to do less maple syrup.
It's not crazy sweet. It's not sickly.
It's sweet though.
Yeah. But if you like sweet things.
But if you like sweet things, do this.
I mean, that's why I like her.
Duh.
All right, well, I'm going to drink this. It actually enhances a lot of the natural flavors that are already in the whiskey. Sugar and salt are both flavor modifiers, and they do that. They bring out flavors that you might not have noticed. Right away, I'm getting a lot more of the oaked.
Yeah.
The vanillins come out
yep.
so much stronger. The caramel flavor is nice, but it's almost like a brown sugar rather than a caramel now. Mm-hmm. So it's very brown sugar. The maple flavor isn't overpowering. This maple syrup is actually a really good quality one, but the maple flavor isn't overpowering, but I'm getting those vanillins coming out nice. Oh, it's amazing. I knew it was going to taste okay. I didn't think it was going to be that good because I'm not a big fan of like the honey whiskeys and all that kind of stuff. I'm not a big fan. I like my whiskey like I like my coffee. I like whiskey flavored whiskey and I like coffee flavored coffee. But anyway, now we're just rambling. Mm-hmm. So as always, thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day.
Bye-bye.